Well, here we are in Arkham Horror, and things might actually be going well enough that this game might be over very soon. What we see is there are adventurers in position to close down all the gates in not this turn, but the next turn. Vincent is down here. He escaped that star spawn. Monterey Jack ran over to the Silver Twilight Lodge to grab himself a clue, and he's going to be able to have an encounter there. He doesn't have membership, so he can't use the special encounter there. But maybe he'll get membership by showing up. He's just curious what will happen there. He couldn't get anywhere more interesting. So, we've got the Arkham adventures right now, and I've got to shuffle that deck up because I'm really bad at remembering to do that, and then I'll come back. Well, the Arkham encounters did not go as well as expected. First of all, Monterey, well, he had to make a will -2 check. He ended up spending all his clues. He had a 0 chance trying to make that check. He ended up banned from the French Hill locations. He can't go to them anymore, and that's symbolized by this card. This is out of the Pharaoh's expansion. And then Vincent failed rolling 4 dice on his fight check. He's got a +1 from the thing in closing off the Dreamlands. Now, he can stick around and keep trying, but he's got to keep dealing with that star spawn each time. So he's got to keep his sneak up. He can shoot his lore up next turn, and that'll give him a slightly better chance. Now we go on to the encounters over here in the other worlds, and let's see what Kate pulls here. I'm gonna pull these under there. These big decks can get reshuffled. It's possible. That will not work for her. Red will, though. And she's in the Abyss, which is a monster appears. Great. Well, we'll take care of that and I'll come back. Well, she managed to sneak away from that monster. And then Daryl ended up drawing something that gave him a chance to drop right into his return to Arkham space. But he doesn't get to do anything about it, so it doesn't really save him anything because he has got to stick around there in order to get his chance to close that gate. Well, we're on the Mythos phase, and there's a 4th token here. This is getting kind of ugly. If things end before this takes place, it's, they win. But if it doesn't, it becomes much, much harder to win. And the Witch House. Is that a safe place? Something in me says it is. Yes, it's got an elder sign. So it doesn't actually, nothing bad happens here. Monsters don't spawn nothing. Okay, there's going to be a clue over at the Bat Cave. Okay. Yes, I like to do that. I don't know if it disappears because there's a gate. I don't want to look it up, Alright, and now monster movement. Let's see what we've got here. That's not right. We got a square. He's going to go along the black. We've got a diamond. He leaves. Well, that's a bonus. And he's red. That means he's fast, I believe. So he actually slides down the second one too. And now here, this flying guy is going to drop down into French Hill, where he'll cause problems to Monterey Jack, perhaps. And the headline: all monsters in the Rivertown streets or locations are returned to the cup. Rivertown. Well, that's kind of a nice effect. And there is one. Excellent. So that gets rid of one of those monsters, and there's actually room for more monsters now again within Arkham. It's the end of this turn. This is going to pass to Kate, and we do still have a shot at ending this. This turn, indeed. So things could stop right now. If they don't, though, the world starts getting ugly due to this rumor. And nobody's got a pile of spells in hand, which is a problem. Okay, so for most of the players, things went pretty well. Both Kate and Vincent ended up evading their monsters. Daryl doesn't have to worry about one. Unfortunately, Monterey Jack got caught by this Night Gaunt, and he chose to just fight it. He didn't have a very good sanity check there, but he's only losing 1 sanity per failure against it. Unfortunately for him, actually, he got thrown through the nearest open gate. He didn't get hurt the way he thought he did. So he's actually full up on health points. I had him fight several rounds of combat against it. He got flung. Well, what's the nearest open gate? We've got one, two, three. 1, 2, that looks the nearest. So he's going to be in the City of the Great Race. That's not necessarily good for him. Now, on the encounter phase, he has to deal with that. If the gate for that disappears, he'll be lost in time and space if another one doesn't open up in time. Of course, the game might be over by then. So we're at that kind of clutch period. Maybe the game's going to end here. Let's take a look at what Kate's got. She's got a 5 lore to defeat this, and that gives her a plus 3 total because there's a 3 die total because there's a -2. That's not great, and she doesn't have anything to really help her here. Nothing she can expend, no clues or anything. But she succeeds, gets rid of the gate, and as was pointed out to me, I've been forgetting about this rule completely. There's a symbol on these gates. Those monsters are now banished. Now I'll look around and I don't see any of that type right now. Oops, is it only in Arkham? That's something I'm going to have to check. I'll leave this face up in case I do have to look that up, because the game might be over here, and then I can just look it up after that. Let's not break the suspense, as it were. Okay, now here he's gotten his lore up, so he's got 5 dice for this. I don't think he has any other bonuses here. Yeah, I don't see anything else that'll help him. That's a pretty good chance, though. He did not succeed. That's not a 6, it was something else. So he's stuck there, and it's not over yet. And now we've got to go over to Daryl, who has a 5 fight and is rolling it straight up that way. And he gets rid of his, which gets rid of triangle creatures. There are a lot of triangle creatures here. He doesn't have enough points to drop a seal, but let's get rid of some of these triangles. Chthonians are, and nothing else there. Okay, and they just go back to the pit. And now I gotta look up that rule, where things disappear from, because I didn't find the rule. Somebody just clued me in about it. Yep, it affects the monsters in the outskirts as well. It's funny because I played it correctly with my wife, but, you know, and I think I may have even explained it when I talked about the rules. But it's so easy with a lot of little things when you're trying to remember and you don't want to face this rule book. I mean, you just don't. It wasn't hard to figure out, to find. I'm finding the rule book easier and easier as I go along. But it just, the memory of trying to learn these rules for the first time from that book and having it on my lap, trying to read it. Here it's on a separate table, that makes it easier. These Fantasy Flight just makes their rules too big and too glossy, and I just hate them. Okay, well, now we're going to be hitting the mythos, not the mythos phase, but the external areas. City of the Great Race, you must have that device if you are to escape from this accursed city. Pass a sneak -2, and it takes 2 successes check to draw a unique item and return to Arkham. If you fail, bad things happen. Like really bad things. Sneak -2. Well, his sneak's only 1, and he's got +1, so he's at a 0. Yeah, he used this in the combat. Okay, well that's not good. He's not going to succeed, which means he loses 3 sanity and a stamina. Well, that means he's lost in time and space. Not good at all. And now we jump to the Mythos phase. Draw another one of these. Bad stuff is happening. Does it happen immediately? These happen at the end of the Mythos phase, so this won't have effect yet, but boy, they're in trouble if they don't get that gate closed in this next turn, and if another gate opens up. And we got the Black Cave, and oh boy, too bad it's not Kate who's sitting there, because her special ability would prevent something from falling on her. But in this case, no, it's poor Daryl, and he's going to get sucked into a gate. And I suspect that our heroes are not going to be able to succeed here. He goes down to Yugoth, which isn't a good place to be, I would guess. And there's no clue here. It's a rumor card. We have a rumor in play, so it will not go away. Which is kind of funny, but I think you can still defeat that rumor that's in play. Okay, and we've got possible movements here. All kinds of things. All kinds of creatures. These flying things, but that doesn't actually move by the same rules. It's just going to pop up to the sky because it's got no one to reach. And that looks like about it, except I forgot to put a monster on Yugoth. I'll leave this up so that I can we got us a ghoul. A ghoul's a hexagon. Hexagons move on the black, so he'll be going out to the street for his party. And I gotta be kind of careful here. This pile's getting a little smaller than I'm used to in the games I've played. And I get another bonus eyeball here for Azathoth. Which, of course, if he shows up, the game is just over. So that can be a problem. Alright. I think if 2 gates open up, 2 eyes will show up for Azathoth. That's a problem, too. He's really coming closer to showing up. So, I had this hope that it would be over this turn. And it's obviously not going to be. And in fact, our heroes are going to have a much, much harder time than it looked like maybe just a turn ago. So we move this into place for Vincent to go first.